Hail to ye!
Hello there. Is there something the matter? Do you have something to ask of me?
Taste of my wrath! Please, can't control myself. Taste of my wrath! Have you? Hail to ye!
If you're looking for Al-Helor, he went home to get some rest. Maybe I could answer a question for you.
You have a keen nose to have tracked me here. I suppose I should welcome you to my den.
Hail to ye! Hail to ye! Hail to ye!
It's finally over. Nurek said that Al-Helor is dead, but I know I'll still have trouble falling asleep at night. Did you want me for something?
How do you do? Have you had any luck acquiring the gems? Or is there something else you need?
My friend, you've returned victorious. It gladdens my heart to know that there are heroes like you in the world.
Well, hello. Have you exciting news for me, or is this just a routine visit? Either way, I'm pleased to see you again.
Is there something you need?
I suspected you'd show up here soon. I'm glad to see I was right. So, shall we join up once more? Yes? Is there something you need?
Thank the gods you've come. While you were gone from port last, that fiend of a half-orc, Yeskar, kidnapped my Shaldrissa.
Foolish hero. Yeskar will slash you! Let the earth take you! Wait! Spare Yeskar's life! Yeskar is glad to spare his life.
Who are you? alone means everything to me. Thank you for saving me. I will never do anything so foolish again.
Chalmers is safe and sound. I cannot thank you enough. You truly are the hero the lady told me of.
The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success shall soon follow. Aye, what would you have of me? I would not normally speak of this, but I am told that you and the Lady Paladin have formed a bond of friendship. Erebeth has stirred from her grief, but not as I'd hoped. She has replaced it with a frightening rage that she almost cannot contain. She storms about, brooding and filled with bitterness, and lashing out at all who come near her. I do not know if anything can even be done. Perhaps you could speak to her. Let me see what you have. Yes, excellent. I had full confidence in your abilities, my friend. Bring the information to Erebeth quickly. She will be eager to see it. The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success shall soon follow. Aye, what would you have of me?
That is a curious question, my friend. Nor does it have a simple answer, if the truth be known, and is not a tale that I care to often tell. As you wish, my friend. Though I'll not be held responsible should you nod off during the telling of it.
Let me see. Perhaps it is best if I ask you a question first. You are a person of your god, are you not?
How is it that you came into your calling? Was it an accident? Was it born purely of talent? Do you believe you were fated to be what you are?
Aye, and no doubt the same could be said for many. Few know that the path they start upon will lead where it does. I myself started life as a slave in the southern deserts of Kalimshan. Never would I have foreseen that I might become who I am today. I knew of the lush and wild jungles of my homeland, Chult, only through the bedtime tales of my mother. I have never laid eyes upon its shore. My mother was owned by a most vicious and cruel caliph. As a slave child, one learns to stay out of sight and to move silently, lest one be beaten. Moreover, I learned to listen. I listened to the chatter of the servants, the bored talk of the guards. For many, many years, I was the shadow in the caliph's halls. For all my hiding, however, I proved of no use to anyone but myself. I could not save my mother when the caliph beat her to death for spilling a tankard of his mead, for instance. I blamed myself regardless, as the young often do. In grief and anger, I stabbed and killed the caliph, and was subsequently chased into the streets of Kalimpur. I am not proud of what I did. It is very easy to say that the man deserved it. Deserved it more than my mother did, at the very least. Who am I to say that this is so, however? I was no righteous judge that day. I acted out of retribution and became a wanted murderer, in truth. There is no denying that. I fled into the shadows of the city, and was not alone there. I found many who I will call allies and not friends, for we acted in unison only to survive. The law pursued me, so always I remained hidden and listened as I once had. The fact that I was a thief to remain alive did not without help. And eventually, even the shadows of the city were no longer safe for me. I sought passage out of the city, and eventually a captain took pity on me and gave me a position aboard his ship. Perhaps you have heard of Randall the Red?
Aye, that he was. A pirate whose reputation along the Sword Coast was more than deserved. I joined his crew, though I was no pirate. I was not fond of drink as the other sailors were, and instead spent my time at each port making new contacts and listening. Over the years, Randall grew to depend on my skill. He gave me gold to establish informants throughout the coast, and I heard news the instant it happened. It was I who kept Randall safe and one step ahead of his pursuers, for always would I know before the chase was on us. I was not truly a pirate. I was his master of spies, though I did not put a name to what I did. And while Randall was indeed a pirate, he was an easy man to like. I was not fond of the looting and pillaging Randall indulged in, and did my best to subtly steer him away from the worst of it. Randall knew what I was doing, and permitted it only because I was otherwise invaluable to him. He cared not if I cringed and turned a cheek when the crew plied the worst of their bloody trade. As the years passed, I came into a certain amount of my own fame along the Sword Coast. My life was my life, and I was satisfied with it, and discharged my duty as best I knew. It was not until I encountered Lord Nasher that my life would change forever. That, however, is another tale. Ask me of it sometime, my friend. And thank you for listening. As I said, it is not a tale I tell often. Back to more important matters. Is there something you know of me? Aye, so I did. Though I had not expected that you would be truly interested in hearing the rest of the tale. Are you sure I am not boring you? Is that so? I have not had someone eagerly asking me such since, well, never. Usually I am not so, how shall we say, available. So be it. You will recall, I hope, that I made the majority of my early fame as the spy master for the infamous Randall the Red, aye? That life continued much unabated. Our ship found safe harborage in Luskin, and Randall plagued the Neverwinter trade lines endlessly. Lord Nasher was not always the aged man you know now. When I first encountered him, he was a man in his prime, a veteran of the sword and in possession of a brilliant mind. Lord Nasher vowed to end Randall's reign over the waterways. He personally sailed from Neverwinter to seek and destroy our ship. Perhaps. Once, however, Lord Nasher was renowned as the greatest lord of the North. The very idea that he was personally chasing us frightened the crew and gave Randall pause. For 2 years we sparred, he and I. It was all I could do to discover his ingenious plots to find Randall, just in time to avoid them. Never had I labored so. Once, he even disguised himself and his men as Walkina priestesses shipping gold to Am, knowing that would draw Randall like a moth to the flame. Only at the last moment did I give in to my suspicions and warn Randall from their ship. It was a very close thing, however. In the end, it was I who betrayed Randall. He grew more desperate and more violent, plundering ships and killing all aboard. This he had never done before. When next the shadows told me of Lord Nasher's latest plot, I did nothing. I waited silently and watched as Nasher's men sprung from Randall's latest target. Randall was no true friend. He made use of me, and I had needed him. It was a choice I had to make, and it was no easy one.
I fully expected to be executed and waited grimly as I was rounded up with the rest of Randall's men. My fate, as I saw it, was sealed. I waited a long time in the dungeons of Castle Never. The first man who came to my dark prison, however, was none other than Lord Nasher himself. He was very intense and charismatic, and suspicious. I was, after all, a well-known pirate, yes? He asked me only one question. Why did you not warn Randall the Red of my attack? I told him that even though I served Randall, I could not allow what he was doing to continue. Lord Nasher seemed surprised by my answer. So you would betray any man you served if you did not agree with his actions? He asked me. And I had only one answer. I said I would betray any man who I felt was wrong. And my only regret was that I had waited as long as I did with Randall. He smiled at me and said that he only hoped that if he did something wrong, that I would tell him first. I asked him if this meant I was to serve him now. To that he said, no. I was to serve Neverwinter. That was to be my sentence. I am 20 years into my sentence now, my friend, and I have been thankful for each year of it. Perhaps. I am glad I did not, for Lord Nasher is the best of men, and Neverwinter a prison that I have grown to love. And had I left, I never would have met my Kali. It is nothing, my friend. Something best forgotten that I should not have brought up. Your original question has been answered, I hope. Let us return to the topic of your mission and speak no more of me today. I shall await your return then. Be safe and Godspeed. The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success shall soon follow. Aye, what would you have of me? I did. That I mentioned her at all was by accident, my friend. I have been determined to avoid those memories for many years now. I suppose one cannot leave the story unfinished. As you wish then, my friend. Kali is short for Kaliara. She was of elven blood, a woman of extraordinary beauty and adventuresome spirit. She ran the Guild of Thieves in Neverwinter, you see, when I first began my sentence. She was also the first task Lord Nasher sent me to. I was to see to her capture, and to reduce the power of the guild in the city. And I was eager enough to do so, though I did not know what I was up against. Not at first. She and I became the most dire of foes. Kaliara stirred the guild against me, and assassins stalked my every step. The thieves had been used to holding power in the city, and did not care to be dislodged. I used every trick I knew to no avail. Finally, I chose to disguise myself and infiltrate her guild, determined to look upon my foe and end her life personally. It took me a great deal of time to do so. Kaliara trusted few, and I had to work my way up in the ranks over time, until I was able to enter her inner circle. No, not at all. I killed her. I should have done it sooner, when I was first trusted enough to be alone in her presence. But I was too intrigued and foolish. She enthralled me. I found her soul so similar to my own, and we drew together immediately. Despite my misgivings, I gave in and allowed myself to love her. I knew it would not last. I discovered her plan to kill Lord Nasher. and knew that the time had come to tell her who I was. It was my hope to dissuade her from her life. She was not angry, as I thought she would be. Merely disappointed, perhaps, as she drew her sword. To strike her down was almost unthinkable. As we parried, I begged her to reconsider, to leave her life, to stay with me, and I would protect her from Lord Nasher's wrath. I will not change for you, Aaron, even as you would not change for me. Let it end here. Though tears blurred my eyes, upon those words I ran her through. She died moments later, as we exchanged one final kiss. She would not leave, my friend, nor stop her plans. It was not in her to do so, just as I would not have, were our roles reversed. And I could not let her succeed. Though it broke my heart, my path was clear and fated to be. I must accept that. Can you understand, my friend, even if you do not agree? Thank you. I have never told another that tale. There are few that I would call friend. I would be pleased to name you amongst them. Perhaps in time I might come to hear your tale. For now, however, there is much to do. I shall await your return then. Be safe and Godspeed.
It is good to see you again. At times I worry that you have taken on too much responsibility yourself, yet always you surprise me with your resourcefulness and success. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? I am angry. I have been thinking more and more of how Fenthic met his end, and how I did nothing to stop it, and I grow even more angry. Fenthic devoted his entire life to the service of justice and the performance of his duty, just as I have. And what did he get for it? Discarded. Discarded by his liege lord to appease the witless masses. Discarded by his god for one foolish mistake. Tell me why I shouldn't be angry. Fenthic deserves plenty of my ire as well. The stupid, stupid fool! If only he had been less trusting, less devoted, he never would have ended as he did! You make him sound like a murderer! It was not Fenthic who created the plague, nor Fenthic that betrayed the city! He was merely too trusting and too devoted to duty! What should have happened? Perhaps he should have received some recognition of his long service and his good intentions. Or perhaps he should have been less trusting and more selfish. I should be angry at those who condemned Fenthic for the wrong reasons. I should be angry at Fenthic, too, for being a good man and a trusting man. And why shouldn't I talk like this? If Fenthic had questioned more and been less trusting, less devoted, perhaps he would be alive today. And so Fenthic got his final reward. Thank you, Tyr, Lord of Justice, for aiding your faithful servant. Shall I be next, then? Shall I, too, end my life a traitor? Executed for being too adhered to my duty to question injustice when I see it? Will Tyr abandon me then, too? I don't know. Tyr brought me here, put me on this path. I want to know why. Why teach me true justice and then throw it in my face? All I know is that I am tired of being sad. I am tired of feeling helpless. I feel guilty for questioning myself, but I feel I must be questioned. Vengeance is not Tyr's way, but I fear I see no justice being done here. There is no justice to be had for Fenthic, only vengeance, and I cannot do it. Perhaps it is just the dreams. They continue to come and get worse each night. I hear voices crying out, so many voices. I see Fenthic killed before me over and over. I hear laughter and so many crying out to me for help. I almost cannot bear it. No, there is nothing for me there. And doing so would only hinder your mission, and I will not do that. Promise me as my dearest friend, that you will find this cult and visit upon them the vengeance that I cannot. I see. It is all I can think of that will silence the dreams. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps all I need is some rest to put this into proper perspective. Not. Thank you, my friend. It is all I can think of to silence the dreams. I must do something, and to have you help me brings me great relief. You have been a fine friend. Here, take this. It is a ring that belonged to my father. I want you to have it. Let it symbolize our friendship. Perhaps if something were to happen to me, it would remind you of me in days to come. I don't mean anything, my friend. It is simply fatigue and worry that make me speak such. Please, take the ring. That makes me glad. You do me a great honor by carrying it. Let us speak more later. Go, find where the heart of this cult resides, and return to me. I wish you luck with all my heart.